This is a first aid survival kit. I got it from Breakwater Supply. They actually sponsored this to me for me to try out. I'm glad I didn't have to use it, but I will continue to take something like this because, you know, I've taken a lot of classes. I have certifications in first aid, CPR, trauma, stop the bleed, wilderness first aid, and the things that can happen out there, you really need to be prepared. So this is a survival kit and first aid. So it has everything in there to survive, as well as tourniquets, things for trauma. So I didn't really see anyone else out there with anything like this, but then again, I'm not going through their packs, but there was a lady that I saw just a couple days ago. I've been following her. She's an older woman, probably in her late 60s. She took a fall and she fell headfirst down the hill and slid. So her hand is just tore up. Her forehead, her nose, her up like right here on her upper lip, just completely torn up. Open wounds and just covered in mud, and she had no way to clean them. She had no wipes, no soap, no bandages, nothing. So, you know, you can get an infection pretty quick out there, I'm telling you. So if I'm around and you get hurt, just know I got you. Okay, food. I had actually ordered a bear canister, but it got here and they sent me the wrong one. So I sent that back, and they were sending the smaller one. It didn't get here in time, so I had to improvise. So what I did is I grabbed my waterproof bag that I use when I paddleboard, and I use this as my food bag. So you want to make sure that you have some type of rope, just in case the campsite doesn't have the pulley system. Some of them have the pulley systems where you just hook your food up to the pulley and then it goes up into the tree. A lot of times I was camping that I wasn't even near a campsite, which is how I wanted it. They don't recommend that, but that's how I wanted it. And so I would throw the bag full of food up into the tree. There's a technique. You need to make sure you know how to do that before you hit the trail. Otherwise, you're going to be standing there forever trying to get your bag up in a tree. You are not putting your food away out of your tent to protect you from the bears. You're doing it to protect the bears. So if a bear smells the food and comes in to your tent or comes into the camp, obviously you're going to report it because it's a bear encounter. They come out, they track down the bear, and they will tranquilize it, and then they will move it. They'll try to take it 40 to 60 miles away. Well, that bear's got a taste of food, so guess what he's going to do? He's going to come back. They hope he doesn't, but there have been times when the bear comes back. They do the same thing. They tranquilize it and remove it again, take it further away. If that bear comes back 3 times, they have to kill the bear. So you are putting your food away in a tree or inside one of their bear metal chests, food chests, to protect the bears, not you. Okay, so do the right thing. There's no reason these bears should be getting killed because you can't put your food inside of a chest or put it up in a tree. So I'll get off my soapbox then. There we go. Okay, my backpack I already talked about. It's an Osprey EJA 58. I loved it. It worked out great. It did rub a little bit here, but how many people are going to hike in a sports bra? It was just hot for me. So I'll continue to do that, and I'll just put something underneath there to protect it from rubbing on my shoulders. It's got the pockets that the one video that I posted, I think it's day 5. There's part of that is me going over the pockets and how convenient it was to put my food where I could just keep walking. I wouldn't even have to stop. I could just reach back and grab the food. The other part is this top zipper pocket in the moonroof. Literally, as I'm walking, if I ran out of snacks on the side, which would happen, I could literally just reach back, unzip it, grab more food out, zip it shut, and keep walking. I didn't even have to stop and take my pack off. So really great pack. It's got a lot of ways you can cinch it down and make it really tight. It worked out great. It worked out like a charm. When I first was putting my stuff in it, I was like, gosh, I wish I would have had just a little bit more room. But I'm not going to be carrying all this stuff the whole time, right? So it's winter time still. So I had carried a few extra things. So I think it's going to be just perfect once the warmer weather hits. Tarp. I did not take a tent footprint. I took a tarp because the tarp is multi-use. I can use it for more things. The tent footprint, that's all you can use it for, is for your tent. A tarp, I could use it to, if I just needed shelter during the day, I could put it up, with the string. I could put it under the tent. One day when I slack packed, I have what I call my oh shit bag gear. And so on that day, I literally only took things that I would need if I got into an oh shit situation and had to spend the night out there without a tent. So I took the tarp, one of the quilts, the pillow, food, and water. So, and the emergency sleeping bag. So a lot more uses for a tarp than a tent footprint. Oh, there's dirt falling out of it. I want to go back. It's okay. It's okay. I got 2.5 weeks and I'll be back on the trail. So anyway, I took a tarp instead of a tent, and I will continue to do that. My tent is a big tent. It's a 2-person tent. It's a Best Sport. It worked out great. It was super, super easy to set up, easy to take down. Obviously, I didn't get to use it because the bugs aren't really out yet, but it's got a no-see-um mesh. And when you're on this trail, when you start getting more north, you really want a no-see-um mesh because those little tiny bugs will get into anything, but they won't be getting into my tent. So when you look into getting your tent, make sure it's got the no-see-um mesh. So great, kept me very, very warm, very comfortable, protected me from the wind and the rain. It was perfect, really. I have no complaints about this tent whatsoever. It is big, it is heavier. It's about 4 pounds, but that's because it is a 2-person tent. And I do that because I like to have room to move around, and I want to be able to keep my gear in the tent with me and still have room to move around. Okay. What do I have next? Let's go over some clothes. For my feet, I always wore smart wool socks. And these are called Dr. Motion, but they are smart wool. So I normally used the ankle socks. I did have one pair of socks that was longer that I did use one day, but I was in ankle socks most of the time. And then I wore sock liners. So to protect your feet from the blisters, along with the rock tape. And what I would suggest you do, because I experienced it, is I would wrap your feet from the get-go. If you know places where you get blisters, I would wrap it from the get-go. I would wrap the back of your heel, I would wrap the bottom part of your heel, and I would wrap the big toe and the pinky toe. I would absolutely wrap those from the get-go, and I will next time. I took one pair of leggings, and I wore them, I think, once during the day, and the rest of the time I was in shorts. So I took 2 pairs of shorts. I took 1 t-shirt. I took my smart wool, which isn't here because I went hiking yesterday and it's in the wash. I have an Arcteryx, I can never pronounce that right, Arcteryx jacket, rain resistant, very warm, very warm. And so I would actually wear, that stuff to bed. I would wear all this stuff to bed. I took 2 tank tops. So 2 tank tops, 1 short sleeve, this base layer, long sleeve, my smart wool, that jacket, and then my raincoat, which is a North Face. And the thing that you want to make sure that yours has is ventilation under the armpits, because you're in this raincoat and it's hot and you're sweating. So to have that extra ventilation was very beneficial. 2 pairs of shorts. I took 3 pairs of socks. So you can stop and do your laundry along the way. If you stop in Neal's Gap, which is an excellent place to stop for a night if you want to take a night off the trail, and you don't have to take the next day off from hiking, but you can take the night and spend it in one of their cabins. They will do your laundry for you. It's included in the cost. Nice cabins, and you walk to it right from the trail. So that's in Neal's Gap, Blood Mountain Cabins. I take leg gaiters, and I wear these things year-round. And the reason for me is because they not only protect your leg from brush, and they're thicker down here, right? A very thick canvas, so in case, God forbid, a snake, right, should strike, this is going to help. Protection from the rain. They are waterproof, the brush, the twigs, so protection and warmth. When I have these on, my lower leg is warm, and if my lower leg is warm, I'm warm. So that is why I wear gaiters. A lot of people just had ankle gaiters on, so they came up maybe right below their calf, right above their ankle. So those you know, just to keep like the mud and the rocks and stuff out of your shoes. But I prefer the longer ones. They don't weigh anymore, so I love them. I'll always wear them. I don't know, obviously, when it gets super, super hot later on in the year if I'll still have them on, but I don't know. I wear them up here when it's, you know, in the 80s, so. A towel. I took this towel and I had it with me the whole time, and then I took it out the last 2 days, and that's when I wish I would have had it. So I don't know. If you're going to stay someplace overnight to take a day off, or a Nero or a Zero, a hotel or a hostel, they're going to have towels. So do you need to take a towel? I don't know. I will still take a towel because I like to bathe in rivers. So it's going to be good to have. So I will continue to take a towel with me. I will. Camp shoes. These are Skechers hiking sandals, and I actually wore them on one day about halfway through when I first started to get the blisters. I switched into these and I hiked in these. Incredible. A lot of people have Crocs, and you'll see Crocs hanging from their backpacks. You know, obviously Crocs are waterproof because they're that weird plastic or whatever. No offense, but you won't catch me in a pair of Crocs. Not going to happen. I like my Skechers sandals, hiking sandals, so I could wear those around the campsite. You know, if I need to get up in the middle of the night and go to the restroom or anything, I could hike in them. So that is what I choose. But having a pair of shoes so you don't have to put on your hiking shoes or hiking boots when you're hanging out at camp is beneficial completely. The other things that I took, you saw my hat, wore it all the time. I got this hat. I wore this hat at nighttime on the cold nights to bed. And I did take one hoodie. And I got the hoodie and both these hats from Alaska Republic Clothing Company. And they're up here in Alaska, and they have really, really cool, like, camping tank tops and hoodies and hats. So really cool camping stuff if you like camping gear. Okay, I think the last thing I need to go over is my firearm. So I took my firearm with me. To travel with a firearm, you need to have it in a hard-backed case. You have to declare it when you check in. So you tell the ticket agent when you're checking in that you have a firearm. She's going to give you a piece of paper to fill out. Then she's going to watch you physically put it inside the suitcase where you have your hard case with your gun in it, your firearm in it. Then you're going to go over to a special TSA area. They're going to have you unlock. Well, first they're going to have you try to open it with the locks on. They have to be able to not put their hand in. If they could put their fingers in, then it's no good. They're not going to let you travel. So make sure that once your case is unlocked but still has the locks on it, that they can't get their fingers inside. If they can, they're not going to let you fly with it. So they are going to verify everything. They're going to make you open it. They're going to make sure you don't have any loose ammo floating around inside the case. They're going to make sure you don't have a magazine inside the gun, and that the chamber's clear. And then they're going to shut it. They're going to have you lock it. Then they're going to have you put it back in your suitcase, and then they actually take your suitcase and they put it on the belt for you. I have my concealed carry, even though Alaska is an open carry state. I went and got my concealed carry a couple years ago for that reason, because I like to travel. I travel alone a lot, and I like to have my firearm with me. So it is reciprocated in most of the states along the AT until you get up northern to some of those states. So the other states, it's reciprocated, but you still have to get some type of a permit to carry through their state. So those liberal states, you know, if you're carrying a firearm, that's on you, what you do, how you do it, if you choose to continue to carry it or not. I know what I'm going to do. So anyway, I open carried most of the time. When I was on the trail, when I would come into a gap where there was a major highway or there was a lot of people doing day hikes that live in the area, I would just take my tank top and cover up the gun so it would be concealed. Obviously in towns and whatnot, it would be concealed as well. And then I just have a little tiny leather holster that clips. You can either wear it on the outside on the left or the inside of your clothing on the right. I'm ambidextrous when I shoot archery and firearms with great accuracy, I might add. So I can go either left or right. And that's not a big deal for me. So I think that's it. You can carry bear spray if you wanted, you know, if it made you feel safer. I carry a gun because I'm aware of things that have happened on the trail. The individual that got murdered a couple years ago. It's just good to have. So I will continue to carry my firearm. A lot of people that saw me with it were like, oh man, I wish I would have brought mine, and good for you that you're packing. I never got any negative. I never got any looks like, oh, you know, she's carrying a gun. So yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I forgot anything. Just go minimal, guys. Just go light. Know that there's places that you can stop and wash your clothes. You probably want to bring something that you can put on while you're washing your clothes. That is the one thing that I didn't do. So I actually had to run into town and buy some undergarments so I could wash my stuff. So yeah, I think that's it. If you have any questions, comments, just go ahead and put them down there and I will do my best to answer them. Keep hiking, stay rugged. We'll see you on the trail.